Welcome to round number 3 of Prague International Chess Festival 2026. We have two very interesting games to analyze. Nodirbek Abdusattorov plays against Vincent Keymer, while Jorden van Foreest plays Gukesh. So let's see how the game went, and if you have seen them, let's try to analyze them together again. So d4, again on this level, those guys play whatever they want on the first move. They can play knight f3, they can play c4, d4, e4, b3, h4, a4, I don't know. So many things. So knight f6 is played, c4, e6, knight f3, and we're transposing to main queen's gambit positions. c5, Tarash, takes d5, c takes d4, queen d4, e takes d5, and now bishop g5. Generally, I think in this structures, white generally get a little bit better. It might be somewhat easier to play just because you get this beautiful d4 square. At some point you go queen e2, knight d4, e3, and you're basically trying to occupy this d4 square and then try to play against this isolated pawn. There are a lot of classical examples of how to play against isolated pawns, a lot of books on that. I mean, I can just make a great example. If you haven't read the book, I would suggest you to. It's called My System by Aaron Nimcovich. Like, that's probably a must-read book for every single chess player. And I mean, there are a lot of positional aspects, just a lot of valuable things which will improve your game. Bishop h4, queen b6, now takes, and rook d1. So now, I mean, you kind of sense that white should have advantage, just because, look, two double pawns on b file, then you have isolated pawn on d5. You kind of sense that something is not going right for black side. So rook c8 is played, a3, g5, bishop g3, knight c6, rook c1, g4, knight e1, knight a5, knight b5, rook c5. So nevertheless, it looks like black are actually doing, I mean, somewhat well at this point. Knight d4, knight goes to c6, knight c2, takes. So here, he was supposed to play knight e6 first, but I kind of agree that I wouldn't take on e6 either. I mean, Kabira takes it, but I'm like, I'm not taking it just because I helped black to get rid of this isolated pawn, which might be used in the future. And also, when you take on e6 and then f takes e6, you no longer have this beautiful d4 square, because at some point black might also have e5, black will have bishop f6 and try to attack b2. So I kind of agree with Nodirbek here, not with computer, just because it's not the move. So knight c2 was played. Now knight d4, and bishop comes back to d7. And now I assume Vincent was like, I don't want my bishop to be taken. And I'm actually quite curious. There are also probably ideas of just occupying b5 square. That's why bishop d7 is somewhat useful. So bishop d7, and you also want to get rid of some pieces of the board, just because if knight gets to b5, knight gets to c7, attacks d5, or bishop gets to b5, some a4, b4 idea. So it makes sense to play bishop d7. f3 is played, rook e8, and now b4 is passed, which was played, rook c8, and now bishop b5. I mean, Nodirbek plays a perfect game. Here he got a huge advantage. As you might see by looking at the evil bar, plus 1.7, it's huge on this level. Takes, rook c6. But nevertheless, it's equal in terms of material, and yes, I mean, it's not that clear of like how to proceed. So rook c6 was played in the game. Computer really likes f4, and that's actually kind of a move that you don't even want to make, just because potentially knight comes back to f6 and to e4, and then it's occupied, and yeah, it kind of doesn't make sense. Same time, now it's just tactically working. Let's say takes, and rook comes to c7, and if bishop goes to f6, knight f5, king h7, knight d6, rook e6, and you can probably even take on b7, or oh, you cannot take on b7 because of knight g7, and apparently this knight is no good. So what you should do is to play knight b5, and now after knight g7, knight c7, you kind of start attacking the pawns. So rook c6 allows to take the pawn, takes, rook e6, b5, and here, unfortunately for white, he just basically lost all his advantage. So yeah, he was supposed to play f4, and now after one mistake, it's a draw for. I mean, it's a good thing for black. It's not so good for Nodirbek, as he pushed at some point in a 2. So now you kind of want to take, but at the same time like a5. And if pawn reaches a6, it might be a lower. So rook c3 95, there's 97, king f1, king f2, and players agreed to a draw. And the main game of the round finished peacefully. While in a very, very interesting game between Jorden van Foreest and Gukesh, we had a decisive result. And let's see what happened here. So the game started with a4. Gukesh plays very solid chess. e5, knight of d6. Ruy Lopez, I'll quickly scroll through the opening. There is nothing interesting to see. d4 takes. So that is actually a quite interesting line. Like, let's say for me, I don't play it as white. Like knight a5, and then you kind of play early c5, and then you take on d4. I mean, Gukesh knows a lot more than I do, but it's like I've never played this line with black. I've never played this position with white, even though I mean I'm playing Ruy Lopez. Knight c3. We have castle, bishop g5, knight c6, rook d1, knight d4, king g3. Now knight cannot take due to rook d8. So queen goes to b8, and now I mean, that is just mind-blowing. Like, you look at it, you have to look at his game against Vincent in the first round. Now look at this game against Gukesh. I mean, we're witnessing something insane. If you look at his live rating, 2759. Is he 2759? Because I saw 2705 in the live ratings. I'm like, that can't be right. I mean, in just... I still have to check. I still have to check whether he's really 2759 at this point. But, guys, the way he's been playing, like the games at Vaikanze, right now two games with white pieces. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Like you want to actually take a look at those games just because they're mind-blowing. So he takes d4, he plays e5. He doesn't care about the knight being taken. So if knight h5 here, there is king d3, threatening checkmate. So now just on time to capture and then play knight e4. So we have d takes c3, king h4, knight h5, bishop e7, g6. So again, doesn't take because queen h5, g6, queen h4. And if you take the bishop, you're losing the game immediately. So g6 takes, and b takes c3. And if you pay close attention, white are up a pawn. So queen c5, queen f4, attacking the rook. Rook goes to e8, queen f3, rook c8, and now e6. Takes, e takes, and now yes, endgame, which you still gotta convert precisely. Rook f7, rook b7, f4 was a mistake, but nevertheless, g4, bishop g8, spinning a few pieces, and now pawns are starting to move. So here you might be wondering why not, let's say, 2 immediately, rook a7 is good enough, and let's say king b2, trying to promote, h6, a1, takes, and then I assume it's like easy h7, and honestly, I don't see good defense. Like, I might even go, like, I might be, yeah, just go in g5, then bishop comes, let's say, to d3, g6, g7, my pawn promotes. Like, knight is not enough to stop. So, knight d5, g5, a2, oi, a2, rook d1 goes back, knight d4, h6, rook c8, h7, rook h8, bishop e4, and unfortunately, I mean, there's just not a lot of things you can do. g6 is coming up next. If king b2, again, just simple g6, and if queen promotes, then takes, g7. J8 is coming up next, and Jorden wins, again, the world champ. And wait, what? Am I seeing this correctly? Gukesh is lower rated than Jorden van Foreest. Jorden is actually a favorite in this game. No, but that's like that comes to absurd, like absurd points. Like Gukesh is losing a lot of rating. He's 2750, now 2741. in classical, 2692, not even 2700 in rapid chess. He is 2646 in blitz. So yeah, he still has a long way to go. And as far as other games went, there are all draws. Basically, only decisive result was Jorden beating Gukesh. We have Nodirbek, Jorden, Nodirbek, David leading with 2 out of 3. Then Aravin and David Anton with 1.5, and then 4 players on 1 point. In the 4th round, Hans Parham, Vincent, Aravin, David Anton Nodirbek, Abdusattorov, not Yakuboev, Gukesh David, and Nodirbek Yakuboev, Jorden van Foreest. So again, a lot of interesting games to look at. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you after the recap. Well, after tomorrow's round in the recap. Enjoy. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you tomorrow. Ciao, ciao.